ICHQ-9 Quality Risk Management Guidelines. ICHQ-9 Guideline. Current Step 4 version. Dated November 9, 2005.
Definition. It is commonly understood that risk is defined as the combination of the probability of occurrence of harm and the severity of that harm. The manufacturing and use of a drug, medicinal, product, including its components, necessarily entail some degree of risk. The risk to its quality is just one component of the overall risk. It is important to understand that product quality should be maintained throughout the product life cycle such that the attributes that are important to the quality of the drug, medicinal, product remain consistent with those used in the clinical studies. An effective quality risk management approach can further ensure the high quality of the drug, medicinal, product to the patient by providing a proactive means to identify and control potential quality issues during development and manufacturing. Additionally, use of quality risk management can improve the decision-making if a quality problem arises. Effective quality risk management can facilitate better and more informed decisions, can provide regulators with greater assurance of a company's ability to deal with potential risks, and can beneficially affect the extent and level of direct regulatory oversight.
Scope. This guideline provides principles and examples of tools for quality risk management that can be applied to different aspects of pharmaceutical quality. These aspects include development, manufacturing, distribution, and the inspection and submission/review processes throughout the life cycle of drug substances, drug, medicinal, products, biological and biotechnological products, including the use of raw materials, solvents, excipients, packaging and labeling materials in drug, medicinal, products, biological and biotechnological products. Principles of quality risk management. Two primary principles of quality risk management are: the evaluation of the risk to quality should be based on scientific knowledge and ultimately linked to the protection of the patient, and the level of effort, formality, and documentation of the quality risk management process should be commensurate with the level of risk. General quality risk management process. Quality risk management is a systematic process for the assessment, control, communication, and review of risks to the quality of the drug, medicinal, product across the product life cycle. A model for quality risk management is outlined in the diagram, Figure 1. Other models could be used. The emphasis on each component of the framework might differ from case to case, but a robust process will incorporate consideration of all the elements at a level of detail that is commensurate with the specific risk. Responsibilities. Quality risk management activities are usually, but not always, undertaken by interdisciplinary teams. When teams are formed, they should include experts from the appropriate areas, e.g., quality unit, business development, engineering, regulatory affairs, production operations, sales and marketing, legal, statistics and clinical, in addition to individuals who are knowledgeable about the quality risk management process. Decision makers should take responsibility for coordinating quality risk management across various functions and departments of their organization, and assure that a quality risk management process is defined, deployed, and reviewed, and that adequate resources are available. Initiating a quality risk management process. Quality risk management should include systematic processes designed to coordinate, facilitate, and improve science-based decision-making with respect to risk. Possible steps used to initiate and plan a quality risk management process might include the following: define the problem and/or risk question, including pertinent assumptions identifying the potential for risk. Assemble background information and/or data on the potential hazard, harm, or human health impact relevant to the risk assessment. Identify a leader and necessary resources. Specify a timeline, deliverables, and appropriate level of decision-making for the risk management process. Risk assessment. Risk assessment consists of the identification of hazards and the analysis and evaluation of risks associated with exposure to those hazards, as defined below. Quality risk assessments begin with a well-defined problem description or risk question. When the risk in question is well defined, an appropriate risk management tool, see examples in Section 5, and the types of information needed to address the risk question will be more readily identifiable. As an aid to clearly defining the risk, for risk assessment purposes, 3 fundamental questions are often helpful. 1. What might go wrong? 2. What is the likelihood, probability, it will go wrong? 3. What are the consequences, severity? Risk evaluation compares the identified and analyzed risk against given risk criteria. Risk evaluations consider the strength of evidence for all 3 of the fundamental questions. In doing an effective risk assessment, the robustness of the data set is important because it determines the quality of the output. Revealing assumptions and reasonable sources of uncertainty will enhance confidence in this output and/or help identify its limitations. Uncertainty is due to combination of incomplete knowledge about a process and its expected or unexpected variability. Typical sources of uncertainty include gaps in knowledge, gaps in pharmaceutical science and process understanding, sources of harm, e.g., failure modes of a process, sources of variability, and probability of detection of problems. The output of a risk assessment is either a quantitative estimate of risk or a qualitative description of a range of risk. When risk is expressed quantitatively, a numerical probability is used. Alternatively, risk can be expressed using qualitative descriptors, such as high, medium, or low, which should be defined in as much detail as possible. Sometimes a risk score is used to further define descriptors in risk ranking. In quantitative risk assessments, a risk estimate provides the likelihood of a specific consequence, given a set of risk-generating circumstances. Thus, quantitative risk estimation is useful for one particular consequence at a time. Alternatively, some risk management tools use a relative risk measure to combine multiple levels of severity and probability into an overall estimate of relative risk. The intermediate steps within a scoring process can sometimes employ quantitative risk estimation. Risk control. Risk control includes decision-making to reduce and/or accept risks. The purpose of risk control is to reduce the risk to an acceptable level. The amount of effort used for risk control should be proportional to the significance of the risk. Decision-makers might use different processes, including benefit-cost analysis, for understanding the optimal level of risk control. Risk control might focus on the following questions. Is the risk above an acceptable level? What can be done to reduce or eliminate risks? What is the appropriate balance among benefits, risks and resources? Are new risks introduced as a result of the identified risks being controlled? Risk reduction focuses on processes for mitigation or avoidance of quality risk when it exceeds a specified, acceptable, level, see Fig. 1. Risk reduction might include actions taken to mitigate the severity and probability of harm. Processes that improve the detectability of hazards and quality risks might also be used as part of a risk control strategy. The implementation of risk reduction measures can introduce new risks into the system or increase the significance of other existing risks. Hence, it might be appropriate to revisit the risk assessment to identify and evaluate any possible change in risk after implementing a risk reduction process. Risk communication. Risk communication is the sharing of information about risk and risk management between the decision makers and others. Parties can communicate at any stage of the risk management process, see Fig. 1, dashed arrows. The output/result of the quality risk management process should be appropriately communicated and documented, see Fig. 1, solid arrows. Communications might include those among interested parties, e.g., regulators and industry and the patient, within a company, industry, or regulatory authority, etc. The included information might relate to the existence, nature, form, probability, severity, acceptability, control, treatment, detectability or other aspects of risks to quality. Communication need not be carried out for each and every risk acceptance. Between the industry and regulatory authorities, Communication concerning quality risk management decisions might be effected through existing channels as specified in regulations and guidances. Risk review. Risk management should be an ongoing part of the quality management process. A mechanism to review or monitor events should be implemented. The output/results of the risk management process should be reviewed to take into account new knowledge and experience. Once a quality risk management process has been initiated, that process should continue to be utilized for events that might impact the original quality risk management decision, whether these events are planned, e.g., results of product review, inspections, audits, change control, or unplanned, e.g., root cause from failure investigations, recall. The frequency of any review should be based upon the level of risk. Risk review might include reconsideration of risk acceptance decisions. Risk management methodology. Quality risk management supports a scientific and practical approach to decision making. It provides documented, transparent and reproducible methods to accomplish steps of the quality risk management process based on current knowledge about assessing the probability, severity, and sometimes detectability of the risk. Traditionally, risks to quality have been assessed and managed in a variety of informal ways, empirical and/or internal procedures, based on, for example, compilation of observations, trends, and other information. Such approaches continue to provide useful information that might support topics such as handling of complaints, quality defects, deviations, and allocation of resources. Additionally, the pharmaceutical industry and regulators can assess and manage risk using recognized risk management tools and/or internal procedures, e.g., standard operating procedures. Below is a non-exhaustive list of some of these tools, further details in Annex 1 and Chapter 8. Basic risk management facilitation methods. Flowcharts, check sheets, etc. Failure mode effects analysis, FMEA. Failure mode, effects, and criticality analysis, FMEA. Fault tree analysis, FTA. Hazard analysis and critical control points, HACCP. Hazard operability analysis, HAZOP. Preliminary hazard analysis, FA. Risk ranking and filtering. Supporting statistical tools. It might be appropriate to adapt these tools for use in specific areas pertaining to drug substance and drug, medicinal, product quality. Quality risk management methods and the supporting statistical tools can be used in combination, e.g., probabilistic risk assessment. Combined use provides flexibility that can facilitate the application of quality risk management principles. The degree of rigor and formality of quality risk management should reflect available knowledge and be commensurate with the complexity and/or criticality of the issue to be addressed. Integration of quality risk management into industry and regulatory operations. Quality risk management is a process that supports science-based and practical decisions when integrated into quality systems. See Annex 2. As outlined in the introduction, appropriate use of quality risk management does not obviate industry's obligation to comply with regulatory requirements. However, effective quality risk management can facilitate better and more informed decisions, can provide regulators with greater assurance of a company's ability to deal with potential risks, and might affect the extent and level of direct regulatory oversight. In addition, quality risk management can facilitate better use of resources by all parties. Training of both industry and regulatory personnel in quality risk management processes provides for greater understanding of decision-making processes and builds confidence in quality risk management outcomes. Quality risk management should be integrated into existing operations and documented appropriately. Annex 2 provides examples of situations in which the use of the quality risk management process might provide information that could then be used in a variety of pharmaceutical operations. These examples are provided for illustrative purposes only and should not be considered a definitive or exhaustive list. These examples are not intended to create any new expectations beyond the requirements laid out in the current regulations. Examples for industry and regulatory operations, see Annex 2. Quality management. Examples for industry operations and activities, see Annex 2. Development. facility, equipment, and utilities, materials management, production, laboratory control and stability testing, packaging and labeling. Examples for regulatory operations, see Annex 2. Inspection and assessment activities. While regulatory decisions will continue to be taken on a regional basis, a common understanding and application of quality risk management principles could facilitate mutual confidence and promote more consistent decisions among regulators on the basis of the same information. This collaboration could be important in the development of policies and guidelines that integrate and support quality risk management practices. Definitions. Decision maker, S. Person, S, with the competence and authority to make appropriate and timely quality risk management decisions. Detectability. The ability to discover or determine the existence, presence, or fact of a hazard. Harm. Damage to health, including the damage that can occur from loss of product quality or availability. Hazard. The potential source of harm, ISO/IEC Guide 51. Product life cycle. All phases in the life of the product from the initial development through marketing until the product's discontinuation. Quality. The degree to which a set of inherent properties of a product, system, or process fulfills requirements. See HQ6A definition specifically for quality of drug substance and drug, medicinal, products. Quality risk management. A systematic process for the assessment, control, communication, and review of risks to the quality of the drug, medicinal, product across the product life cycle. Quality system. The sum of all aspects of a system that implements quality policy and ensures that quality objectives are met. Requirements. The explicit or implicit needs or expectations of the patients or their surrogates, e.g., healthcare professionals, regulators, and legislators. In this document, requirements refers not only to statutory, legislative, or regulatory requirements, but also to such needs and expectations. Risk. The combination of the probability of occurrence of harm and the severity of that harm, ISO/IEC Guide 51. Risk acceptance. The decision to accept risk, ISO Guide 73. Risk analysis. The estimation of the risk associated with the identified hazards. Risk assessment. A systematic process of organizing information to support a risk decision to be made within a risk management process. It consists of the identification of hazards and the analysis and evaluation of risks associated with exposure to those hazards. Risk communication. The sharing of information about risk and risk management between the decision maker and other stakeholders. Risk control. Actions implementing risk management decisions, ISO Guide 73. Risk evaluation. The comparison of the estimated risk to given risk criteria using a quantitative or qualitative scale to determine the significance of the risk. Risk identification. The systematic use of information to identify potential sources of harm, hazards, referring to the risk question or problem description. Risk management. The systematic application of quality management policies, procedures, and practices to the tasks of assessing, controlling, communicating and reviewing risk. Risk reduction. Actions taken to lessen the probability of occurrence of harm and the severity of that harm. Risk review. Review or monitoring of output/results of the risk management process considering, if appropriate, new knowledge and experience about the risk. Severity. A measure of the possible consequences of a hazard. Stakeholder. Any individual, group or organization that can affect, be affected by, or perceive itself to be affected by a risk. Decision makers might also be stakeholders. For the purposes of this guideline, the primary stakeholders are the patient, healthcare professional, regulatory authority, and industry. Trend. A statistical term referring to the direction or rate of change of a variable, S. References. HQ8 Pharmaceutical Development. ISO/IEC Guide 73:2002, Risk Management, Vocabulary, Guidelines for Use and Standards. ISO/IEC Guide 51:1999, Safety Aspects, Guideline for their inclusion in standards. Process Mapping by the American Productivity and Quality Center, 2002, ISBN 192-859-3739. IEC 61025, Fault Tree Analysis, FTA. IEC 60812 Analysis Techniques for System Reliability Procedures for Failure Mode and Effects Analysis, FMEA. Failure Mode and Effect Analysis, FMEA From Theory to Execution, 2nd edition 2003, D.H. Stamatis, ISBN 087-389-5983. Guidelines for Failure Modes and Effects Analysis, FMEA, for Medical Devices, 2003 Diadem Press, ISBN 084-931-9102. The Basics of FMEA, Robin McDermott, Raymond J. Mikulak, Michael R. Beauregard 1996, ISBN 052-776-3209. WHO Technical Report Series No. 908, 2003, Annex 7 Application of Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point, HACCP, Methodology to Pharmaceuticals. IEC 61882, Hazard Operability Analysis, HAZOP. ISO 14971:2000, Application of Risk Management to Medical Devices. ISO 7870:1993, Control Charts. ISO 7871:1997, Cumulative Sum Charts. ISO 7966:1993, Acceptance Control Charts. ISO 8258:1991, Schuhart Control Charts. What is Total Quality Control? The Japanese Way, Kaoru Ishikawa, translated by David J. Liu, 1985, ISBN 013-952-4339.